from Lucky's Elite Breaks, joined by Scotty from Scotty's Card Shack and Josh from Ekman Sports Collectibles. You can find all the links to all of our pages in the description box below. QR codes are going to pop up during this podcast. Please make sure to check them out. We are back this week after 1 week off due to both of you being horrendously sick. So I hope you guys are feeling better. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, feeling
Doing pretty good. How about you guys?
Very good.
I still sound terrible, so sorry to all the viewers.
You still
I
sound
can't
terrible.
tell difference. I can't tell a difference.
Yeah, you just sound like normal, Josh. It's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
It's because you keep enjoying the sunshine in South Carolina. Then you go back to, where is it, Pennsylvania?
Yep. Go from the nice, warm, sunny weather to the cloudy, miserable weather.
Yeah.
Actually, that really does have something to do with it, though.
Yeah, and I have very bad allergies, so I'm sure that doesn't help. So yeah, going back and forth, it definitely is taking a toll on me. So
Yeah, no, for sure. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I know I had to write down a lot of notes just because there's just so much going on. So we're gonna go into the first segment real quick. This is gonna be Scotty's specialty. So MLB is implementing a new 15-second pitch count. So here we go. All right, Scotty, what do we got going on with that?
Yeah, so I'm sure most people know by now about the new rule change as far as the pitch clock. So with runners, if the bases are empty, the pitcher has 15 seconds to pitch the ball. If he doesn't pitch it within that 15 seconds, it's a ball. The batter has to be in the box ready to hit with 8 seconds left on the pitch clock. If he doesn't do that, it's an automatic strike. And there's already been some issues with this. I know the Braves and I think it was the Red Sox. They were tied in the ninth inning. They don't go into extra innings for spring training. But so bases was loaded. It was a full count. The game was tied. I think it was 6-6. And the batter did not get into the box in time. So they called strike 3 and the game ended.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there's a few other issues, and I've been listening to what other people, thoughts on this are, and some people have come up with some really good stuff. One guy came up with the thing that the problem that he has with it is that he's afraid of the pitcher injuries or he's going to shoot up because pitchers aren't going to be given enough time between pitches to rest. So if you think about it, like, when you go to the gym, you work out, you do your set, you have a certain amount of time that's between sets. Otherwise, you're not as strong, you're not as good, you start to fatigue faster. Well, if they're making these pitchers rush and rush and rush and rush, you could start seeing some shoulder injuries, maybe some elbow injuries, because when you do get fatigued, sometimes your mechanics will change. So
Right.
that's something to look at. A couple of the other things that they made with that, you can only pick twice on a batter. I believe the batter can only call timeout once. Matt Scherzer already used that to his advantage. So he got set, batter calls timeout. Okay, now he knows the batter can call timeout again. So what does he do? Scherzer gets the ball back and he immediately goes to the rubber and he gets set. Batter gets ready, and Scherzer just stands there and stands there and stands there, and he lets the pitch clock run down to the very, very last second, and then he pitches. As you know, most batters don't feel comfortable when they get into the batter's box, and they just stand there for like a really long time. So, yeah,
not even that though. Also, because I was going to bring up the Scherzer thing when it came to like the mechanics, because he was also doing that where he was pitching fast too. So like he was already testing that out. But I noticed that he not only did he do the thing where he was waiting, but he also did it where as soon as the batter got on into the box, he threw a pitch, like he was getting ready to pitch. So he was like, it was like he was like switching it up. It was kind of
he's playing mind games.
Yeah, it's like mind games and like playing defense already on defense. Like so that part is kind of cool. But yeah, I could definitely see where someone's gonna probably get injured a lot more. But from someone that loves sports but hates these long seasons like baseball, hockey, basketball, maybe it speeds it up a little bit. Maybe it makes it a little better. But I don't know how much it's gonna really speed it up by. But yeah. Mike, I saw that. Yeah, it is a balk now, and I did see that. Like, when is he determined to be in the box ready to go? Because Scherzer did that a couple times where he got in, the batter looked up and Scherzer was already throwing the pitch, and the guy said it was too early of a pitch. How is that even possible?
Well, if he gets in last second, like say he gets in, because he has to be in the box ready to hit with 8 seconds left on that clock. After that, it's free game. So if the batter is taking his time getting into the box, he's actually hurting himself. What he needs to do is get into the box like immediate. Like a lot of batters, they take the pitch, they walk out of the box, they do this little roundabout thing, and then they come in and they get set. Batters are gonna have to start learning that they can't, after the pitch, they can't step out and walk around and do all that stuff. They're gonna have to get set a little bit sooner, give them an opportunity to not get rushed by the pitcher. So there's going to be strategics, when it comes to that.
I guess that's my question there. Like Mike just said, the batter has to have time to get set. What determines when you're set? Is there anything that determines that you're set?
Like he can't get in there and be looking down at the ground. You know what I mean? Like he comes in.
But as soon as he looks up at the pitcher, is he set?
Yeah, that's indicating
what
that you're ready to hit.
Scherzer did that a couple times, and as soon as the batter looked up, Scherzer pretty much started his windup, and they stopped him a couple times and called it. I guess it would have been called a balk.
Yeah, well, it depends on how much time is on the clock. It depends on the clock. If, like I said, if a batter is getting in last second, then it's free game. But if let's say the batter doesn't really step out. Let's just say like after the pitch, he keeps 1 foot in the box. He just kind of steps out with 1 foot. He gets in, and there's 12 seconds left on the clock. The pitcher can't just rush and pitch because the batter has that up to the 8 seconds to be set and ready to go. So that's when it'll be a balk.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So the batters are going to have to learn that they can't take the time either. Yeah, like what Jared said, it's also going to be the discretion of the umpire. Some of them are going to be probably a little bit more lenient on some.
Yeah.
And then the other rule change I wanted to touch on real quick that I didn't really mention to you guys about was the shift change, because I kind of want to see what was going to happen. So you can't do the shift anymore. You can't have like 3 guys on one side of second base and just leave that one person by themselves. So what some teams are trying to spring training is they're actually taking the left fielder and they are abandoning left field and they're sticking him in shallow right field.
Yeah.
And that kind of just takes exactly what the shift was. Now I really hope hitters make them pay for that, because you could just, if you can figure out a way just to bloop in something, then that's an easy double all day long. I'm actually not even a fan of the shift, to be honest. I mean, I know you should be allowed to set up your defenses however you want, is part of it, but it's just, I don't know. I've never been a fan of the shift, but I also get it at the same time.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that impacts a lot of what's going to happen this next season for sure.
Real quick, did the plate change, the size of the plates change at all or no? I thought that was a rule change. Or the bases.
It was the bases.
Did that actually change?
Yeah, the base.
Okay.
I believe they made the bases a little bit bigger.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that today when I was looking that up and wasn't sure.
Yeah, and what Jared's saying about the bunt down the baseline, I'm a big fan of that. And what's weird is that I've actually seen some guys do that, and the other team get mad at the guy for dropping a bunt, and I'm like, well, you're the one that's shifting. You're trying to be strategic with your defense. He's being strategic with his offense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like you can't get mad because he found a loophole in what you're trying to do to him. In essence, another loophole by shifting the defense.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll go to the next. Sorry, I was dying there for a second. We'll go into the next. Yeah. The next thing we're going to talk about is Topps is cutting some of their product. So let's go into that real quick. So the product they're cutting is Bowman Chrome X, Clearly Authentic, Fire, Gallery, Gold Label, Opening Day, and First Edition. So let's start with Scotty. Which one are you going to miss the most?
None of them, to be honest. Gallery has been pretty cool. I've bought that throughout the years. If you're not familiar with Gallery, what it is, it's not your normal card. They basically have an artist design, like I think it was in 2020. They had artists actually did art on the card itself. like they would do. So like you would pull a card, you might pull, you know, Yordan Alvarez, and then pull another Yordan Alvarez, and his face may not even look the same because it's going to be different artists, you know, drawing it. But every year they're always different. They've had a couple of years where it's been pretty sharp. So I think if I'm going to miss any of them, it'll probably be the gallery, just because it's something so unique and so different year after year. Topps Fire, I did like Topps Fire until I opened up a box that had the autos were all smeared, and actually it was multiple boxes. It was actually multiple boxes that had autos that were smeared. I don't know how that happens. I don't know how you take an auto that fast and you know, package it to where it ends up smearing. But
Yeah.
that one, and then opening day, opening day is kind of like, I don't know. Have you guys ripped it opening day before?
No.
Mm-mm.
It's like the really low end of Topps product. It's obviously it's what it is. It's opening day for MLB. That's what that. But really, that's like it's a really low price product, and there's really no hits in it. It's really for, I think, for like kids that are like maybe just getting into a hobby, or someone just wants to open up some cards for like a really low price, but you really can't hit anything out of it. I think the Clearly Authentic, though, that right. It was the Clearly Authentic. That stuff was that one's not too bad. That's probably that one, and probably Gallery would probably be the two I would say I would miss. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
what was
like,
their what was the
one.
reasoning for cutting those? Just cost, or just because that's what they're doing? Is there a specific reason?
I think it probably has to do with the fix.
Okay, that's
You
what I was
know,
thinking.
they just had a big conference, Fanatics and Topps, and they're going to be doing, from what people have been saying, that there's going to be a lot of changes that they're going to be doing in the industry, as far as what Topps and Fanatics want to do, and they're going to bring in some big stuff. So I think probably what they're probably doing, cutting some of the stuff that maybe is a lower end selling price point for them. Maybe they just don't. Maybe they just want to end the product, and then this way they can bring in newer product with Fanatics,
Yeah.
and probably just introduce some new stuff. That would be my guess. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. That's just what I'm guessing from what I've been hearing. That's what's going to end up happening. But I will say this: they did say for sure they're getting rid of rings.
Yeah, I did see that.
Good. That needs to happen for sure. So yeah, I even when I'm doing breaks and I pull a redemption, I'm like, oh man, they're not gonna get this card. And
Yeah.
if they do, it's a miracle, right? But I think I would miss the gold label. I liked how shiny they were, and like they looked like just a really nice card. I've always liked the gold label from even way back in the day. So it'll be sad not to see those anymore. The Clearly Authentic, I don't really like those anyway. I mean, I've opened like one and I didn't get anything, so I just said forget it.
You spent the money, got the one crap card that they probably put in the case, and you said never again.
Yeah, I'm over it. So, but yeah, so we have that. Josh, you don't really collect anyway, so I don't think you really.
yeah, that, and I don't really open up much baseball if I do open anything. I did like the Topps Gallery. I opened up a couple of those. I did like that. I like the look of the Fire, and then the gold label also. Those are the ones I like the most. But yeah, this doesn't really help me. But Topps, Mike says Topps also had the Project 70, which I did like those. I did like the project cards that they made. But I don't know if what they're doing with that. But yeah, other than that, I don't really collect too much of the baseball stuff.
No, yeah, for sure. So, but yeah, that was one thing. So, I guess we'll go into the third thing right now. So this is actually going to be a long topic. It's the guy about the Luka card. So here we go. So Panini's doing Panini things. So this guy was in a break. He pulled a Luka autograph out of a Spectra box, but it was not Luka's autograph on it. It was Otto Porter Jr.
Yeah.
So he went through all the channels, right? He was messaging Panini. This has been like over a year, I think, something like that. Finally got like one person who said they'll look into it. Like they'll get the card. They received it from him, and they'll try to fix it. And then this card got lost, and then like a couple months ago, he got a message saying, okay, well, just talk to USPS. That has nothing to do with this. We never got it. So it looks like he got gypped, and he's not going to be getting that card back at all. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well,
And that happens. This happens more often than not. Like people don't realize that this actually happens a lot. And I guess the auto card, they found the auto card with the Luca auto on it. So I don't know if they pulled in a break or something, but they did end up finding that. But it happened with we talked about it like last season, I think. With the Babe Ruth 1/1 bat relic auto, and it was like George Brett on it or something. So
Yep.
I mean, imagine if you open that. Well, even Luca, I mean, that card is probably huge. But imagine if you open like a 1/1 and Babe Ruth of all people, and it's the wrong auto. How would you feel? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it's shades of the exact same thing, except this guy, is really trying to get his card fixed, and it doesn't seem like it's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know whatever happened with the Babe Ruth thing. I don't know if it was ever I don't know if Panini ever did anything for that. But yeah, for him to and how they're trying to like wipe it clean and like act like nothing happened type of thing is really, really shady.
yeah,
Jared says just happened in NFL as well with Mac Jones and Zach Wilson autograph.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It happens way more often than not.
Yeah, and with that Luca being on there, the other card, I bet you that card's value goes way up because you still have a Luca auto no matter what way you look
for
at it.
sure.
You have a Luca auto, so you can still sell the card as a Luca auto. It just won't be Luca on the actual card.
Yeah.
So
that's
yeah.
But he mailed it back to them to get it fixed, and they're saying they never even got it. Like they're after all,
they gave him the runaround for a bunch. He sent email after email. He said he called for like 2 months straight, and he couldn't get a hold of anyone. And then finally, someone on his phone and said that they would red tag it and get back to him on it. And then that's when they gave him the story about, well, it never came in the mail. We never received it. And then someone closed it, saying that it was, since it never came, they closed that close his tag, his issue tag. So it was just a mess. And you know what, with Panini is just you just, that's just what you're going to get from Panini. I feel like anytime you rip Panini products, you are taking a risk. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, soccer, whatever it is. They always just seem to have some type of issue, and you hear the same from people as far as like, well, I try to get it resolved, and it just their customer service sucks. Topps, on the other hand, I always hear the complete opposite. Topps is that if there's an issue with Topps, they're pretty good about repairing it. In fact, Poke, I was just texting with Poke, not yesterday, but the day before, he had bought a blaster of Allen and Jenner and baseball, and he opened it, and I'm not kidding you, every single card in the entire box, if you're looking at the card, the bottom right, all of them were folded, all of them, the entire box. So he was asking me, he's like, what should I do? I'm like, dude, you got to get a hold of Topps, and they're more than likely they're going to send you another box. It wasn't like he hit like good cards too. He even showed me there was a Wander Franco in there, and there was an O'Neal Cruz. So it's not like he was sitting there getting a bonus, a bogus box, and then bending them all and telling Top like, this is what happened. He actually hit some good cards, and they were damaged.
Right.
Hopefully he's able to get a new box. I'll keep you guys updated on that when he lets me know what goes on.
Yeah, the quality control in Panini's is out of control. I just even in so many breaks I do, like the Mosaic, and you guys have seen it, there's like those big creases right in there, right in the middle, and it's like, I pulled a Spencer Strider for someone, it's like, that's one of the rookies you want, and then all of a sudden it's worthless because there's a huge dent in it. So I mean, their quality control is just out of control. And then so that Babe Ruth thing, so they found the George Brett 1/1, but it was an autograph of like a third person, and it wasn't the Babe Ruth.
I remember hearing
autograph.
about I do remember that. Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know if I ended up with the Babe Ruth autograph, I wouldn't give a shit what it's on.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah. I'll be like, I got a Babe Ruth autograph. I don't know what you guys got, but I'm good. I don't care if it's with a George Brett or for freaking, I don't know, Mike Piazza. I don't care.
Mike Piazza.
It could be on. Yeah, it could be on whoever. It doesn't matter. I mean, regardless, you still, like I said, you still have the autograph. It just really sucks when you hit something that big and something that special that like you're never gonna hit anything like that again, and it's all messed up, because you imagine like pulling like a Michael Jordan autograph and it wasn't Michael Jordan's autograph. Like
It was like Will Purdue.
yeah,
You got a Will Purdue on a Michael Jordan.
That'd be crazy.
yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
he wrote the M backwards. It's a W.
And you know what else? You know what I'm surprised, and maybe this has happened. Maybe I haven't seen it. You know, sometimes they have those booklets with like a whole. It'll be like 5, 6, 7, 8 guys autographs. I'm really surprised, like if any of those are sticker ones that they haven't put like a sticker on the wrong guy. Like let's just say it's like from like the Lakers dynasty, and you had like Shaq and Kobe and Ron Harper, guys like that. Maybe it's from like a championship team, and they like the Kobe Bryant and the Shaquille, like you put the Shaquille O'Neal like where Kobe is, and like the Kobe where Ron is, and stuff like that. So
yeah, for sure. So yeah, their quality control is just crazy. So then one of the bigger topics on especially with eBay comps and all that. So it looks like some buyers might be getting scammed on eBay. So we're going to go into that right now. So this, I don't know too much about. I know Scotty sent this, and you sent it in the group chat, right? Or was it Josh?
it was Josh.
Yeah, I think it was me.
Josh. So what I gather from it is she wanted this card, right? This girl was bidding on a card, so she wanted to buy for $660, right? And I think she put a max bid of $1,013.
Yep.
All of a sudden, she leaves it on there like, this is my max bid, but my bid is $660. So then I think it's later that night she sees the bids go up to like $700, $750, $850. It goes all the way up to $130
by $50 increments every time too, like all the time.
So then the bid gets retracted, and it gets taken away.
When it was $50 over her $1,000, it was at literally $1,050, and then the person that did that canceled their bid, and so it went back to her at 1,000.
Right. So, I mean, this could be happening a lot, guys. A lot of sellers. This could be a way of them trying to get more.
Yeah. What I didn't realize at the time was because she did this because she was getting on a plane and she wasn't gonna be able to bid on it. So she was like, "I'm gonna put this outrageous bid," because it wasn't worth that. It was worth like $600-$700 or like even less, or whatever.
She said that she thought it was like max worth was like $800 to $850, but she wanted the card so bad she was gonna put it a little bit over, but she didn't think it was gonna ever go over $850.
Exactly, and then she saw all this. So what I realize now that you can do, and for instance, so I sell on eBay a lot, so I can put a listing up. I can go make a fake account of my own, whatever, and now I can go bid on that listing that I put up. Now, people do this already. It's called shill bidding. They bid things up and make them sell, but they actually don't sell to nobody and so forth. But it looks like the price is higher for that item. But what the seller could have done, this is all allegedly, what the seller could have done was he could have kept bidding in $50 increments until someone, whoever the highest bidder was, he realized that now he's the highest bidder, so now he doesn't want it, so he's gonna basically ask for a refund or whatever, that he doesn't want to buy it, and all he's doing is asking himself on his seller's account. So then he goes over to his seller's account, he accepts it, and he goes down to the next highest bid, which would have been her at 1,000. So now he gets top dollar for it.
Yeah,
and it's all done. It's all done before the final, like before the time runs out, because if he did that after it was all said and done, it wouldn't have went to the next bestseller. He would have had to repost it because it was already a final sell. So he does the seller does this all within the bidding limit of the time frame before it ends.
Yeah, and so
go ahead, Scott. That has to be done all the time now.
Yeah, so the good thing is though that she did call eBay and she explained to them the situation of what happened, what she thought did happen, and that the seller had a secondary account, and she said, I'm not going to pay this, and they said totally understood, and they canceled the payment. So the guy not selling that card for that much anyways. But
Which big deal? He'll relist it.
But she's in
Now,
she's in the industry though, so she knows that. Like most people might not understand this, and they just might be like, "Oh, well, the person didn't want it, so now I get it." That's the problem.
And the interesting thing about that too is that she said that this is from a legitimate seller. She didn't want to say the name because I guess he's a pretty big seller. So now there's the other thing that goes into this. Okay, a lot of times you try to sell stuff based on comps. Okay, now how much of the comps are all messed up? Now, as a seller, you want stuff. If you're selling stuff, you want to see as high as it can go. So like something like that.
Yeah.
Like you want to see that. And a buyer, you don't want to see that. So now, when you go to comp a card, are the comps too high? You know what I mean? Like, is that really like, because there's been so many times where I've seen like a card be going for like 20, you see it, it'll be like 18, 20, 22, 20, 19, whatever. And then you have two different things. You either you have one at 99 cents, which I don't understand how that works, or you have one that's like $40-$50. Now,
well, I know exactly how it works. Because I buy Pokemon slabs that way, and I go on at like 3:00 in the morning when I go to my job, and I look for the slabs that are going to be, excuse me, for the slabs that are going to be ending at like in that time frame at 99 cents, and like nobody has. It's just people that don't have big accounts. That's all it is people find people that don't have big accounts, and not a lot of people are following them. And if they're not looking for that specific card and you can catch it, you can get that card for 99 cents. It doesn't mean that it's worth 99 cents. It's just that that person doesn't have as many followers or as many people looking at that account as someone else might. And so that card's going to go way less, but that's not the value of the card.
Yeah, and see, and that's another problem that I have is because it brings the average of the cost of the card down. So as a seller, you got people coming to you, well, this card, the average sells like $26, and then you start looking at like you have like what you said, you might have one like at $1 or $2 when the card's like a $40 card, and you're like, no, that's not like what it should be selling for. It's really not what the average of the card is. It actually should be higher. And so my problem is that, like, I know when I go and I buy cards at shows and I look at the comps and I look what they're asking, let's say I'm looking at what I know is like a $50 card and they have it like for like 80. Then I know, okay, you're way over the top. We're gonna have to meet somewhere. But if you're with someone and they have it listed for 50 and it's a $50 card, and you're like, well, you see this one sell was for 35. Like, can we meet in the middle? Like, that's the type of stuff that I don't like, because I don't think it's fair to the seller who has a fair price already on the card.
Yep. And see, this is probably my favorite subject, because obviously I sell on eBay. I'm in a flea market. So right there alone, I have people come up to me all day long that will just buy whatever. But then I also have the people that come up to me that want to comp things also. So the one thing I would say to look for as a buyer, and you go to someone and also as a seller, and they come up to you, they say comps and whatever, look at how many bids were on that card. If it was one bid, two bids, and it went for like $5 or less, I'm sorry that I would discredit that card, that bidding. If it had 20, 15, 20, 30, 40 bids and people are actually going after that card, now I would say I would take that probably a little bit serious. Also, I wouldn't be looking at bids. I'd be looking at buy it now offers. People that sold a card at a buy it now price, go look at that, find out what those are selling at, and I would use that more than I would for the bidding. But at the end of the day, people gotta just kind of price things the way you want it to be priced and stick with that. Because here's the thing: if everybody went off of comps, and so say I have $100 card, and someone comes to me and says, hey, will you take 95 for it? I say, yes. Okay. They go and they sell it. They look, and then say I sold that on eBay, and they go look on eBay and someone says, oh, well, look, this sold for 95. Will you take 85 for it? Okay. If that seller's willing to part ways with it at 85, he goes, okay, yeah, I'll do that. Well, if that trend keeps going, it's just going to go down to like $10. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make any sense that it's not going to ever, if you always give deals in that sense, it's just never going to work out in the long run. So
Yeah.
you
No,
kind of
and
have
I
to just
agree with
stick
you.
with what you want and kind of agree to that. So
Now, Josh, when you're comping, do you typically just use like eBay? Is that really what you typically use?
yes, because that's really all you can use. 130 point is another good one, and it's mostly still eBay sells, but you can see what if on eBay it says buy it now, but they accepted the best offer, you can see what that offer was. So if you go on eBay and look up sold listings, you can't see the best offer. On 130 point, you can. 130 point also uses like PWCC and a couple other ones, but you don't get a ton of those ones on there. Something's going to change here. It has to. Like with Whatnot sells, with TikTok, with new platforms that are coming out like Drip and Clapper or something like that, with all these different selling sites that you can sell on Facebook Marketplace, anywhere like that, it's online. You don't really know the true value of a card. And the true value of a card really isn't like it used to be back in the Beckett days, where they had the Beckett books, like where they told you what the value of that card was. Like now it's all based off of performance. It's all based off of all that stuff. That's why I've slowly am like getting into Pokemon too now, because what I love about Pokemon is you're not dependent on the picture of the card. You're not dependent on Charizard going out and having a good game, because it can't happen. It's one thing. Like he'll never do good, he'll never do bad, he'll never beat his wife up, he'll never go out and do drugs, commit murder. Like nothing's ever going to affect that card really. The only thing that affects that card now is pricing, is what people pay for it. But something has to change here down the road, because eBay, I would love to see what like 5 years ago, what the eBay like market was like with buying and selling cards, and Whatnot and TikTok and all these other platforms have done to that. But we can't get a real number anymore.
No.
Yeah, I use cardfetcher.com, and
I
the
never
reason
heard
I
of
use
that.
that one,
What's that?
So cardfetcher.com, when you go to look at a card, it'll ask you to put in like, the more description of the card, the better, right? And it'll bring up all the sales that have been recorded of that particular card within like I think it's like the last 50 sales, but it won't do just that card. It'll do like cards that are just like it, of the same player, are players that are like close to it, and also other comps of like, let's say it's like something that like a card that's out of 5. Say there hasn't been any sales of that particular card. It'll take players that are kind of valued around the same as that player. Like for instance, like Mike Trout, Shohei, Aaron Judge, stuff like that. They're all pretty much around the same. So let's say you have like an out of 5 Trout that hasn't sold. Let's just say it's out of Spectra. It'll do is, if there's a Judge or like a Shohei that sold at that, it'll bring that up for you, or it'll show you like what other 5 have been selling at. This way, when you go to, let's say you're trying to figure out, okay, well, what this card is valued and what can I sell it at least it'll show you not only that comp, but comps around it, as far as like other players that are close to that particular player. So cardfetcher.com. My brother uses one. I don't know if he's still in the room. Maybe he'll type it in the comments. He uses one that's really good. So this one keeps records of the PSA 10 cells, the SGC 9.5, PSA 9, PSA 8, and then anything under. And then it'll also show you what the average ungraded card sells for. And so like yesterday when me and him did that case break of the 2022 Prism Quick Pitch, we use that because it's real easy. It's real quick. What it is you type in the player and whatever you're looking for, like whether it's Prism or whatever, and then the year, and it won't just bring up like, let's say you're like, okay, it's gonna be like the Prism, like what we were opening up was like the donuts once. There you go, sportscardpro.com.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them.
So
that's actually a pretty good one too.
It's really, actually, I think so far out of all of the ones that I've seen, that is my favorite. Because I like that it'll show you everything, like, and it'll also show you, the other reason I like it about that is because you can go to it and you can immediately see if the raw is going for the same as like a PSA 9
Yep.
to see if
Right.
it's even worth sending in, or to see if you really think that card is like it has a really good chance of grading 10. If it's worth sending in, if it's gonna 5, 6, 7 that card, you know what I mean, or if it's
Yeah.
just better to leave raw. So
Yeah. I like go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Jared, where did you get that Julio Rodriguez 1/5 capstone to value that at? But so these sites you guys are talking about, Card Fetcher, sportscardpro.com, do these require premium things you got to pay for them, or you just go on them and you're good to go?
it's as free as my buddy's mom. Matt's not in here, but
I know
she's free.
I know, like they have some cool apps out there too where you can scan cards, and it's a great idea. But the problem is, you scan that card 5 times in a row, and it's like the same card don't come up. So it's like they're great ideas, but that's probably what's gonna end up having to happen is they're gonna have to find a way to where you can do something like that, but you'll never be able to find like Whatnot sells and stuff like that. Like, it's just never gonna be able to happen. So, and maybe it'll never be fixed. Maybe we'll just always be talking about this till we're 80 years old collecting cards still. And it's just still a problem. But yeah, it's something that as a seller, and like for me, for instance, for someone that sells on eBay and buys on eBay and then also sells in the market, it's just very, very difficult. And I was watching Lucky's live on TikTok the other day when he was at the show, and I told him after the show, I said, I know now that I never want to do a sports card show. I said it's just there's everybody is eBay comping everything, and I was like, the flea market is just it's so much better to me because people will still want to work deals out with you, but they're not on their phone constantly saying, well, this price it went for $35 instead of $80. Well, yeah, but it also only had one bid, and it also had 3 bids a month before that were way higher. So you kind of have to stick to your guns, and that show just seemed like it was just full of just trying to comp things, trying to get different deals, but and then trades. And I don't know how you feel about trades, Lucky, but trade, like I understand trading is a big part of the hobby, and I get that, but like at a card show, like, oh, that's just too much. Like trying to sit there and figure out if you want to trade this and trade that, and yeah, that's something I would never want to have to deal with.
It depends what you're trying to do. So
yeah,
for you, I know you're very business minded. Like, I buy stuff, I sell it, here it is. I mean, in a card show, the culture is kind of like, I mean, a trade could value me the same way it could whoever's trading me, and then I could take whatever I trade for and sell it for a higher price. And I mean, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people now, especially they do the dollar up challenges. So many people came up to me like, I have this dollar
I heard about
card.
what is that? Because I heard them ask you that.
So a lot of and when we go to convention this year, you'll see a lot of that where it's like a challenge. So you go in with a dollar card. So this kid he had a Zach Wilson pink mosaic. It's like a dollar card. So he's like, I'm trying to trade it for something. So he found like a $3 card in my bin. And I could tell this kid was like a good kid. There's some kids, they're just trying to pull one. He's like, yeah, I'm just trying to do this. Like, I'm going to put it on my TikTok, whatever later. So I'm like, all right, this $3 card don't mean nothing to me. So I'll trade you for that. So now part of the challenge is now he went from a $1 card to a $3 card. Now he's going to try to take that $3 card and try to trade it for like a $7 card. And he's going to see how high up he can get before the end of the show.
That's pretty cool. I will admit that.
It's cool, but I don't think you'd have the patience for that.
No. Well, I wouldn't mind like once or twice a show if someone came up and tried to, but it's 8 hours of that happening. I'd lose my mind. I'd absolutely lose my mind. So yeah, that's definitely not built for me, but I'd be interested to try it one time just to see what it's all about.
We should do that. The 3 of us, we should go in with a dollar card to convention and see how high we can get, like a little challenge or something.
Yeah, I think something like that would be cool.
That'd be pretty fun. Like put it on the YouTube channel or whatever. So.
I think because I know we talked about doing different things and stuff. I think we should do a hobby box challenge. Us 3, we all get the same hobby box, and whoever gets the best card gets everybody's other hobby box.
Dang.
Ooh.
Or we can go or we can go pack for pack. We could do like we all pull one pack out and like we all battle with those packs, and whoever wins that gets those 3 packs.
I like that.
and
I
just do
like
that.
that.
So that wouldn't be as bad either. So you wouldn't like have wasted all that money. I just lost all my money.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Going back to the eBay comp thing real quick. So it also depends the time and stuff you put the items on there. So when people try to compensate, this
Yep.
only sold for $30. To your point, when you
Mhm.
go shopping for Pokemon cards at 3 in the morning, who's up at
Yep.
3 in the morning buying Pokemon cards?
That's how.
So
Yep. Exactly.
a lot of people should structure it like I'll post my items to like end at 5 o'clock on a Saturday or something where people
Yep.
like might be more aware. So yeah, one bid and this card sold for $35. Yeah, well, it was in the middle of the morning, so
Yep.
no one was awake.
And that's what's crazy. So coming from a flea market person, basically, so when I do that, I'm thinking like, okay, I've bought like 10 graded cards in the last 3 or 4 days. Pokemon. I haven't spent over $10 on any of these cards really, each. But but each card has $5 shipping, and that's included in that price. So I'm buying cards for $5 or less, and they're all 9s or 10s or better, and they're all CGC, which is a big Pokemon grader, or PSA cards. So if I take PSA 9, CGC 9 or 10s, and I take them down to the flea market, I'm easily able to price those at $20, $25, and they'll sell at the flea market. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's what's crazy is those will sell down there. But then you go on eBay and you look, and people will be like, well, that sold for 99 cents. Well, yeah, it did, but it's also because of the time of the day. It's also because the seller might not be a big seller. Or the other big thing is people like big companies that get this stuff in bulk, and they don't have to make that like good dollar on every single card. They don't mind letting those type of cards go for like that price because they're just trying to move product, move inventory, and get it in and get it out. So that's another thing. Like sometimes they'll put it up for 99 cents, but that's just because they can afford that. Like me personally, I'm not big enough to where I can, and it's just like Whatnot. I'm not big enough on Whatnot where I can go on there and just post everything starting at $1 and let everybody bid on it because I only have 5 people in my lives at all times anyway. So that will never work for me. But Backyard Breaks, if they wanted to do one, they could go on there. They're gonna have 300 people in there. They could, and that's what's crazy too, is they could put a card on there that could be valued at $1. They'll put it on there for $1, and 7 people will bid on it. It'll go for $10, and they just made that huge profit on it when it's not even a $10 card, it's a $1 card. But they have enough people in there. People might like that player, and they'll bid it up, and that's just the way it goes. So
Right.
there's so many factors nowadays to like getting comps and getting all that stuff.
What I noticed a lot of guys are doing now and Whatnot too is their stuff they're putting it in the store as a buy now. They're no longer auctioning off, good cards because I know that's a problem. Is people are not going on Whatnot necessarily to rip people off.
Yep.
But not everyone makes a lot of money, and sometimes you might sit there and really want to get a slabbed up card, like a decent one, and you don't want to sit there and spend a bunch of money. So you might go into a room hopefully that other people aren't looking for that player, and you can get them for cheap. What I feel bad for is a lot of these sellers that are at the beginning and they're trying to sell slabs. I've heard so many times like, come on guys, like I need the bids up a little bit higher, especially when you're sending off the PSA and the card or the slab is for less than what the grade amount was, which I don't even understand why that would even happen. It's just I don't know. It's weird.
And
it's
like
weird.
Mike just asked there, are there a lot of people that put reserves on cards on eBay? See, the thing about eBay too is yes, not really, honestly, in my opinion. And because if you put a reserve on eBay, you have to pay to list that card now. Like to put a card up for bid, I believe if you start it at 99 cents, you don't even have to pay for that. It depends on what platform you have on eBay, like what model you have. So if you have like the first business model, you get so many cards that you can list. But I believe like if you start a card at 99 cents, even with like a basic eBay account, you don't have to have a reserve price. You can just start at 99 cents and let it go. But then if you want to say list a card at 99 cents, but have it reserved price for $10, now you have to pay like $1 some fee. And if that card doesn't sell, you still pay that $1 fee. And then you have to relist it again and try to sell it again. So you're losing money if that card's not going to sell. So if you don't have a big account, then you're going to lose money that way. And it's the same thing if you want to say start an auction at like for $100 card. If you want to start an auction at like $80 or $100 or whatever it is, like you have to pay now. And if that card doesn't sell, I'm pretty positive you lose that price, that charge. And that's like, for me, I personally don't do that. So all I do on eBay is I do buy it now with best offer. And I do that because that's a free listing. So it's easier that way for me. Now I know what I want to get out of that card, and I'll put best offer on it. And if someone wants to try and make a deal with me, they get like 3 to 5 offers, and we can kind of work out a deal, and I can message them and we can go back and forth.
You know, the other thing that I wonder about too is like, okay, I'll use this for an example. Like, so last year before National, that's when I was buying a whole bunch of slabs because like some of the bigger channels, man, they were letting slabs go for really cheap, which typically doesn't happen. I wonder if because, you know, they get their 1099 form and all that, and they have to fill it out. So let's just say it's you know, right now PSA is $19 that they get a card graded. I don't know if these companies that do really big bulk orders, if they really drop the price down for them or whatever. But let's just say it's $19, right, to the card regardless, right, and sell it for $12. I wonder if they just use that type of stuff as a loss for their business, because I'm sure they keep track is like when you send a card into PSA, I wonder if that's like considered an expense. You know, but then the card sells less than what you put into it. You know what I mean? I wonder if that does help them for tax purposes, because they can turn around and be like, well, we took a loss on all this product.
Yeah, no, that's true. I never thought about it that way. So yeah, that could easily be happening.
Yeah, it could be mind game, especially when some of these people are like, there's I think it's called KK Sports. It's the people that like to watch on Whatnot, because they 24/7 on Whatnot. They have guys that take shifts.
Yeah, they have like 3 different ones, right? They have like KK Consignments, KK Sports, and KK Breaks or something like that.
Yeah, and they're fantastic. I actually really like to watch the stuff that they break, because they don't do little stuff. They do really big multi-year breaks, which is what I really enjoy watching. But they're the ones sure that I was just buying slab after slab, and I'm talking about like I was getting slabs for like $8, $9, $10. You know, and I couldn't believe it, and I'm like, how can they? Like, I understand they make money all through the year, but the guy was just saying, he's like, yeah, we need money for National. That's what they were doing. They were trying to sell this stuff because they were really looking for money on National. Because and now not only are they selling it for $8, $9, $10, but you got to remember you have the Whatnot fee on top of that.
Yeah. So they're not making much, but they're trying to save up. I mean,
they're not making anything. That's my point. Like, you're not making anything off that card. So can they use that as a write off? Is a, you know, a lot less money on my business expenses.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I was telling my buddies like about a month before National, it's your time you want to start looking to buy slabs. It was going all over this on Whatnot as far as like stuff for cheap.
Yeah.
That's
something
it's
I look forward to then. Yeah, maybe check that out, because I never thought about that.
It's gonna be cool to have you guys here and go to that together. So, you know, pimp out Gym Mint 10 a little bit, and we'll do the dollar challenge. I'll go up to a table and be like, okay, I'm trying to trade this newborn baby. Can I have that Micah Parsons? So for those of you who don't know, me and my wife found out we are expecting. So little Lucky's coming. So I knew that we were going to go to the card show. I knew we were going to go to the card show, but I thought Scotty was going to be the only kid we're bringing, but we're going to bring mine too. So
got to start them off young.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. So I'll get a little Gym Mint 10 onesie on her, and we'll be good. So what else you boys got?
I don't know if you guys just want to talk about Jalen Carter real quick. So he was a defensive end that was expected to go number 1 overall in the NFL draft if the Bears decided to keep the number 1 pick. You know, it's probably going to be a quarterback. But what ended up happening is now there's an arrest warrant out for him because I guess what ended up happening is there was a car accident involving a player and a staff. They both it was a fatal car crash for both of them. And he left the scene, came back like 2 hours later, told him he was like a mile away and saw it. Then his story changed to where he was driving behind him and freaked out and left the scene. Now his final story is, well, I was driving beside them. Now he swears he wasn't driving, but now this is I don't think now he's not going to get arrested or anything because obviously they can't prove that he was driving the other car. But now it's come out that the cops are speculating that they were drag racing, and unfortunately those two people lost their lives. So they can't prove that he was driving, so he's probably not going to get technically into like any like major league trouble. Like he's not going to do jail time or anything. But now they're saying that this could really slip his draft capital. He could really end up dropping in the draft. They're saying it can be really big,
which I
impact
guess
on what he ends up doing.
yeah, at the end of the day, I guess it's bad for him for money wise because you obviously make more money the higher you're drafted, but that could be good for now the middle and end of the rounds because now other teams are gonna have a chance to pick him up. But well, I mean, if he's still in the draft, and I mean, I don't know if we'll see if a team really lets him go just because of something like that. I don't know.
Well, to me, it shows your character. You're one of those guys was your teammates, and you just left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That shows a lot about your character. Now, if you had stuck around, like to me, that tells me that you don't even feel guilty about what happened. You're just worried about your own self.
Yeah.
What if he could have stayed there and helped him? What if he could have pulled someone out of the car and CPR and whatever? Maybe he could have saved a life. I don't know the story. I'm just just giving my thoughts on it. But to me, it shows a lot about your character and how much you're just worried about your own individual self as opposed to other people. And to me, that's not the type of guy I would want on my team because obviously, if you're building an NFL team, you need guys that are trying to make this a family type thing. So and then on top of that, I mean, clearly him leaving crime scene back shows that he was guilty of something. He was probably driving the other car is what ended up happening, even though he's not going to admit to that. But why else would you leave the scene? You only leave the scene if you're guilty. That's the bottom line. So, we'll see what ends up happening with his draft capital and where that goes. So,
yeah, for sure. I really hope the Bears trade that pick, but we'll see over the next
they're
couple
going
months.
to. I really think they're going to. They don't need a quarterback. Someone's going to come at them with some ridiculous trade offer.
Oh, isn't Saquon Barkley going to go somewhere? I thought Bears were interested in him.
That'd be.
Maybe it was just it was just a Facebook thing where someone was saying, "What if this happened?" But yeah, that was something that someone was saying about because they could probably. That's probably like everybody's going over what are the Bears going to do with that number one pick, and they were probably saying about Barkley maybe, but I don't know.
To trade the pick for Barkley, I mean, you need wide receiver help because technically David Montgomery is all right as long as he's got an offensive line to run around. I mean, I think they need help with wide receiver, but I mean, I would take Saquon Barkley,
I mean, he's better than Montgomery. I mean, we know that, but
now if you trade Montgomery in the second pick for Barkley,
hold on. You guys, Barkley agent. He's not under contract. There's no trading for Barkley.
Okay, then that's why they were saying about where's he going to get signed to, and maybe the Bears are one of the options.
And the Bears have a ridiculous amount of money. You guys have like $100 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
so it's a crazy amount of money. Yeah. So
it'll be crazy. It'll be crazier if they can make it into their division in the top 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And they have all that money.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. What else we got? Josh, anything?
Other than I don't want to bring up all negative stuff, but what about John Morant just waving his guns around like he just don't care?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
what are you doing with his cards now?
First of all, it's the NBA. NBA, NFL, they can wave their guns around, beat their wives, do whatever they want. They'll be fine. So I mean, for some reason nowadays, like that stuff doesn't matter when these guys do this stuff. So it's not going to do anything. And I guess really, it's what happened is he beat up a security guard or something, or a 17-year-old kid or something like that, and he pointed a gun at a 17-year-old kid. So I don't know what is going to happen with that, but it happened I think a year ago, and they're just now coming back to it or something. So we'll see. I mean, he got suspended
What a
for
dumbass.
I know, yeah, he got suspended for 2 games for having a gun out in the club at on his Instagram live. You can't get dumber than that.
Wasn't it in response to like Shannon Sharp saying he's not Thug or something like that? Like Shannon Sharp said something about him on Undisputed, and then
yeah, something
he
like that.
responded with waving a gun around in a
See,
club. You're
again, that
stupid.
goes to these guys being so soft, man. Who
Yep.
gives a shit what Shannon Sharp says about you? He's a football player.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know. I don't look into that stuff as much anymore, especially someone like John Morant. Like it'll get waved over, something will happen, and he'll be fine. But
His car
and
probably will probably go down.
not that I think that's okay. It's just that's the way the world is now, and it's just not going to change. I mean, that's the problem. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, then we'll wrap it up then. Thank you guys for coming on. Thanks to everyone for watching and commenting. Again, you can find the links to all our pages in the description box below. And also, we did launch our GymMint10sports.com website. So you can go on there and buy into the breaks that I do. You can buy single cards from Scotty or Josh that we'll put on there. It's just launching, so not everything's on there, but it will be. So make sure you go check that out. And then, yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
have a good one, guys.
Okay,
All right, we'll
bye.
see you.